books on books on microfinance, agriculture entrepreneurship, and rural banking, and has presented same at seminars in Ghana and other microfinance and entrepreneurship conferences in India, the Netherlands, France, Italy, Norway, the United Kingdom, and the United States of America. He is also the board chairman of LifeGate Credit Union, LifeGate Credit Union, he is also Entrepreneurs Capital Cooperative, Dream July Foundation, Akomadan Rural Bank, and board member of various organizations. Dr. Agbeko is the Deputy Director of Technical and Vocational Education Research Center and of Hull Technical University and a lecturer at Hull Technical University. He is also council member of ICGC Lifegate Temple and married to 2 kids. Now, I can keep on going. The list is tall, but for the purpose of our gathering today, I will end it here and let us all welcome Dr. Agbeko as he speaks to us today on entrepreneurship skills development. He will share his thoughts with us. Dr. Agbeko, you are welcome to take over for me.
All right, thank you very much. Is the sound okay? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I will start with a very brief introduction.
Yeah.
And in the introduction, I have here, life after school is indeed an issue to consider. This is because after school, some of you will get jobs immediately based on your contract and length. Others will wait several years before. Others will become self-employed. Others will become pastors and prophets. But interestingly, you might need only about 30%.
Doc, it looks like the line is breaking.
Okay. Hello.
Yes.
Is it okay now?
Yes, it's okay. It's better.
Oh. Okay. So what I'm saying is that, is it okay or is it breaking? Hello?
It is okay.
It's okay now?
Yes, Doc.
It's okay now?
It's very okay.
Yes, very okay, Doc. Yes.
Oh, okay. So like I'm saying,
I am still having challenges. I don't know. This is Sylvia. I'm still having challenges connecting with you, Dr. Agbeko.
Okay, Sylvia, can you hear me now? Is it okay?
Yes, Doc, you can. I think you can go ahead.
Oh, okay, all right, that's fine. Okay, so like I'm saying, life after school is indeed very, very critical. And after school, you have a lot of opportunities. Some will enter the industry, some will enter self-employment, some will enter or become prophets. And it is only about 30% of what you learn in school that you really need to realize. The content of what you learn will actually be applied. And this is what we call the application phase of what we learn. And this is what distinguishes the successful from the unsuccessful students. Today, we will briefly look at real life after school and how we need to strategize to cope with the dynamics or the changing dynamics of our beloved country, Ghana. And before I zoom into action, I would like to draw your attention to some few facts. The first fact is that in 2016, the World Bank Group has it that there is about 48% of unemployment of employable youth. So, CTFF Online. This tends to mark the effort of the country to fully utilize the human resources that we have. This implies that
It make me administrator, you made me an editor. So
this implies that only about 6% of youth that are being employed. Further to this, the World Bank report released in 2018 indicates that Ghana's poor education will affect human capital development, for which, unfortunately, you students that are making part. The report says that 56% of Ghanaia's human capital will go in the next 80 years. The report further explains that by implication, only 44% of them in the country will become productive when they grow up. And that our poor quality of education will translate into lack of capacity to support sustainable development, which presupposes that we need to embrace from Europe in the next 18 years to be able to govern this country. This is indeed very, very sad. It means that if we don't take care, we need to import grace from Europe again, come and manage our country. It means we are going back to colonialism. Like I said, this is indeed very sad. In terms of human capital base, Ghana was ranked 116 out of 157 countries. 116, 157. Source, GhanaWeb.com, assessed 15 February 2020. Now, the third issue is that Finance Minister, like we are all aware, speaking at the graduation ceremony of the professional UPSC, Professional Studies Accra, University of Professional Studies, on 18th October 2021, explained that 60% of the revenue we spent, 60% of the revenue of Ghana is spent on payment of salaries for public sector. And so he said that be able to stay afloat in this current dispensation as a graduate, to be able to find your own business. He said that the public payroll choked, and indeed the public payroll is choked. So as a student, as an entrepreneur, you have to start thinking outside the box. Further to this, there's a situation here I want to bring to attention. In Ghana, we have Commander Sugar Factory, which is rusting away. We have Aido Agbeime Rice. We have Malungu Tomato Factory, which is what. We have the Thomas Ayesu Starch Factory, and then we have the Kumasi Isolated Factory. It's isolated. Because of the non-function of the above factories, the following scenario has been observed over the years. Over 20 million USD of sugar is imported into the country every year, yet we have sugar factories. 60% of the fish we eat are imported yearly. Meanwhile, we have lakes, rivers, lagoons, which does not freeze like those in the European countries, yet we import from the European countries. 99.5 million USD of fresh tomatoes, canned tomatoes, ketchups are all being imported into the country, yet we have very good soils. 1.2 billion USD of rice is imported every year, yet the Agbeime project is there. Our produce in Ghana, including cocoa, is backed in juice sacks, but interestingly, most of these juice sacks are also imported. Ladies and gentlemen, it might interest you to know that even toothpick, when you go and eat at a restaurant, the toothpick we use to remove some of it from our teeth is even imported, and that is sad indeed. Over 2 million USD worth of goods as above is imported into the country every year, which could have been manufactured in the country easily. Remember, if these goods are produced in the country, which we call domestication, the GDP will improve and these factories will revamp. Not only does it employ millions of people, but also ease the pressure on the CD, USD, and other currency rates. And if the exchange rate is improved, economic activities in the country will also improve. Source, Dr. Ose Friye, 2017. Now, finally, according to the regional minister of Ashanti region, Simon Osei-Mensah, he said the courses that we teach in the universities are the reasons for unemployment. According to him, they are too theoretical, with no practicality to industry. This might be true, but believe it. Courses may change, university curriculum may change, mode of delivery of lessons may change. But as long as students do not have a positive mindset, there are no industries to employ the students. And this is not going to change in the moment because the population is increasing every now and then. It has become the order of the day that all intelligent students go to universities. No one wants to go to the technical and vocational institutions. And mind you, no nation can develop without industrial boom. That is why this government is talking about one district, one factory. But of course, we also need to revamp the above factories. China is where it is today because of industrial boom, because of a lot of technical institutions where students are learning skills, applying their knowledge. Students are the sound of my voice. In the past, as soon as you complete the university, in fact, during your graduation day, employers are always on campus recruiting people. They give you a car and they give you a bungalow. This is no longer the case because of increasing population. And the situation will not get any better because population will never be reduced. Wise up, my students. But this morning, I bring you good news. The good news is that we are in the entrepreneurship era. And to be able to succeed, you need to start your own business. And to start your own business, there are 3 ways to do that. You identify a societal problem, you provide solutions, and then you generate income. And bank loan is a no-no to start a business, especially in this part of the country. You need to get money from family and friends, and then you need to start your personal savings. Because the interest rate in Ghana is so high that if you start a business pay, the probability that you succeed is very, very minimal. That's the first point. Now,
Dr. Agweko, please, just a moment. Let me interrupt you. Please. Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Some of us are still here.
Okay. Should I continue? Hello.
Dr. Beko, I am sorry. I think we may be having some network challenges because it seems we are having participants leaving, I think, with the intention to reconnect or to rejoin the Zoom. I think people are generally having, okay, so we are back online. We still have about 9 participants. Okay.
So is that okay?
Yes, please.
Can I continue?
Provided the rest can hear you. I think we should be able to give a signal if you can hear Dr. Agbeku.
But
I can hear loud and clear.
okay. So I think I can continue, right?
Yes, please, Doc, you can continue. Thank you very much.
All right. So like I said, I bring you good news this morning. And the good news is that you can start your own business. And in starting your own business, there are 3 basic things that you need to do. The first one is to identify a societal problem. Try and propose solutions, and then money will start to flow in. This is one way to get a business started. And you don't need to take money from the bank because the bank loans are very, very high. All that you need is a savings or money from family and friends. That is the first one. Now the second one is that technical and vocational education is the way to go in a particular era. I was a finalist at the Pan President 3 years ago, the GIZ program, Educator 2018. And the Minister of Education emphasized that at least it is going to establish 20 technical and vocational institutions before the close of the year 2020 to train graduates to feed the industries and to be able to be self-employed. This has happened. But if I were you, I would start acquiring skills to manage these industries. Because students will complete universities and will now go to technical and vocational institutes to seek for skills. Skills acquisition I have been emphasizing on this morning is the way to go. In fact, I know a lot of students now, they are finished universities 3-4 years, no job, and they're learning how to sew dresses, they are learning painting, they are learning metalworks. So if you complete university, you can start something or develop skills that you want to develop, and it's a long way to help you. And here is critical thinking and innovation. Ghana produces the best cocoa beans in the world, but earns only about 20% revenue from what it produces. Whilst Netherlands only add value to the beans and earns 60% of our cocoa revenue. Other industrial players about 20%. In Guatemala, the citizens use plastic bottles. They use it as sea defense walls. In Kenya, they use it to construct bulletproof and very cool buildings. And then in Ghana, we are using it for floaters, for buildings. And the question is how scalable it is. The world is moving along the technological line. Get technology. Learn something small about technology and learn how you can get involved. Now that I'm talking about technology, there was this young man called Gani Manu on the 18th of October 2021. In fact, he's a British Ghanaian. He has both nationalities. He liked his earpiece. And this earpiece can translate 40 languages as soon as you call. And this is a great innovation. Ghanaian living in the UK. Right. And this is the only innovation that does not use internet. The only earpiece that does not use internet. It means that innovation is still somewhere there. So you need to talk about innovation and start thinking about what to do next. My first point here is identify a problem and provide solutions to it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have in the past era, we have been using typewriters. And now the typewriter is gone. We are now in a computer. In the same way, in the past era, a lot of people write applications and they can just do this application and advertisement. But these days, it becomes difficult. We are in the era of identifying a problem and providing solutions to these basic problems and thinking critically outside the box. I will give you a very simple story. There was this accountant who finished Legon first class. And that time I was working in the bank. I was managing the bank. For over 2 years, this gentleman used to visit my office almost every month. And his issue is that I could tell my CEO to employ him in the bank. So one day I asked him, you had first started accountancy in Legon, and you're an accountant as well. And for all these 3.5 years, you are in the house. What I want you to do is that go to the shops around you, start taking stock for the small shops around your house. Provide these services for free. And then after a month or two, try and see if the people actually see the worth of what you are doing. He started with 8 shops. The first month, 3 shops said they were not interested. It was less than 5. The third month, all of them gave him 200 Ghana cedis. That is 1,000 Ghana. And then he gradually started to develop application, be able to take stock and all that. The last time I met him, he said he has an office in Denmark. And now he has employed 13 graduates who are working for him. They are developing, or they have developed taking stock for shops all over Ashama, Denmark, and he even have a shop or an outlet in Kumasi. Right. This is entrepreneurial thinking. You have knowledge. How to apply this knowledge becomes a problem. So, like I said, volunteering, that brings me to the 5th point. Volunteering after school is one of the key issues you need to look critically at. And I'll tell you why. Even in the Bible, when Joseph started with dreams, he was doing this for free. Until one fateful day that he interpreted a dream for Pharaoh, right? And he became the prime minister. If you have a skill and you don't exhibit these skills for free, how would the world manage to know that you have that particular skill? So going forward, as a graduate, go out there and exhibit some of your skills for free. And then at the end of the day, it's paid off, especially if it's a service. I am a consultant today. It's not all doctors that are consultants. I started consultancy for free. What I do is that I go to churches and I educate the congregation on financial management. I educate them on how to start their own business. And most of the time, after my presentations, a lot of people approach me. I want you to train my organization. I want you to do this for me. And then I start studying. So one way of getting a school is to try and provide free services for humanity. And at the end of the day, these free services will pay off. Now, I want you to look at each other. Even though we are not live, you can see some of the members on the screen. What you realize is that we don't look alike. Even identical things still have some differences. What this means is that every individual has a unique talent that is peculiar to that individual. And to be able to break through after school, you need to identify this talent. You need to pursue this talent, and then you'll be up there. Now, research has it that a lot of people that are working in this our country do not enjoy. They enjoy the work they do. They do this because they want cash, not the job. So they endure the job, not enjoying the job. In fact, research has it that about 8% of Ghanaians enjoy the job that they do. They do not enjoy it. This figure is even worse in Japan. In Japan and China, it's about 95%. But if you express your talent, I said everybody has a talent, and then you try to work on it, you will have a job for you that is actually yours, and then you enjoy doing that. But 7.8 is about proposal writing and sourcing. Research has it that 80% of new businesses do not live to see their 5th anniversary because they did not have a clear vision and a mission. And also, they did not have enough finances to move their business forward. Now, what you need to know is that you can develop your business critically and develop it in the business model canvas form. After you develop your idea with a drafted business plan, you can assess over 5,000 winners out there. But students lack the skills to be able to develop a winning proposal. After school, you can take time, go to YouTube, go to the internet, look at how you can develop a winning proposal. Whatever business idea that you have, write it out there, post it out there, and believe you me, you can get this. Winning grants or winning a proposal is a mirage, because I have won several, and I know students who have also won some. So you can go board and you will be there. Now, knowledge and skills is very, very important, like I have talked about earlier on. Knowledge can be referred as a critical or practical understanding of a subject. And this is what we acquire in school. Application of knowledge is what gives you skills. But knowledge without skills is vanity. So what knowledge you acquire in school, it is left with you to be able to apply this knowledge into skills. Now, if you have the knowledge and skills, what is more critical is attitude. Ladies and gentlemen, knowledge and skills are very critical for entrepreneurial success and also for the success of every individual in an organization. But knowledge and skills without is also vanity. As a result, you know what employers do these days? Employers hire for attitude and train for skills. I'll repeat this. Employers, they hire for and train for skills. So you ask me, how are they able to hire for? They hire for by deploying various scenarios at the interview. They'll set a case study and they'll find out how you behave. As they are not there, they set cameras to find out how you behave, and then at the end of the day, they hire for it. Because attitude is indeed everything. Now, a psychologist said that to be able to succeed after school, right, you need 4 main types of intelligence. And briefly, I will tell you what these 4 main types of intelligence are. The first one is the intelligence quotient, IQ, which all my students have. And that is basically you will pour, and you forget. And a lot of people have IQ and it's beautiful. The second one is the emotional quotient or emotional intelligence. With this emotional intelligence, you're able to maintain with others on time, be honest, be responsible. And then we have social IQ or social intelligence. This measures your ability to build a network of friends and be able to maintain them over a period of time. And then the final one is adversity intelligence or adversity quotient. It measures your ability to be able to pass through hard times in life. Now, research has shown that people with only IQ are not able to go far in life. Being able to chew, pass, and forget in school alone is not enough. What is very, very critical in our life after school is the social intelligence or social IQ. With social intelligence, you are able to have a lot of networks, because White Man said, your network is your network. It means how many people you have as your friends, as your cronies, as your inspector. That determines how rich you are. Your network is your network. Because these days, it is no longer who knows you. It is whom you know. It's no longer whom you know. It is who knows you, right? And it is all about your network. If you want to establish a product, you want to sell something on social media, it is your network to first recognize. So your network is a factor of your success. So networking is very, very critical. All I want you to know is that the university cannot do it all. In sum, you need all these 4 types of intelligence, especially the social intelligence, to be able to become a multifaceted individual, so as to be able to manage your business effectively and be able to do things independently. Being able to develop your attitude can also help you in innovation and creativity. Finally, I want to tell you that there is no road for you after school. You will have to prepare your road after school on your own. Remember, the road can be very rough and tough, and it is the well prepared and assiduous that can survive it. But I have confidence in you, and I know you'll get it. So you have no excuse not to succeed after school, because success comes with persistence. I will end by quoting one Dr. Schuller. He said, "Winners never quit, and quitters never win." And remember, God has promised us, God has not promised us a smooth flight, but He has only promised us a safe landing. Finally, Jack Ma, a very successful man in China, said that if you give banana and money to the monkey, what will the monkey take? The monkey will definitely take the banana, because he doesn't know the true value of money. He doesn't know that money can buy more banana. In the same way, if I give with it and business to you, listening to me right now, which one will you choose? I believe without thinking, you say you want the bank, but you have forgotten that a business can buy a bank. A business can buy a bank. Mark Zuckerberg, social media platform, spent off for only 6 hours, and he lost 6 billion US. It means that within an hour, he is able to generate over 6 billion US. Right. And that money can buy several banks. So business is the way to go. Comrades, there is indeed a paradigm shift in recent times. And if you want to succeed after school, start thinking about solutions that you want to provide to you, the numerous problems we have in the nation. And once people are ready to pay for your services and your products, you are in business. Instead of thinking of which company to submit your application, and you end up becoming a NABCO employee with a net salary of less than 500 cedis. Ladies and gentlemen, at the sound of my voice, look sharp, for indeed times are changing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Agbeku. Sorry, Dr. Agbeku, your delivery, you've given us so much insight into the world of entrepreneurship. Find it very exciting, not only exciting, but educative. And I believe if we are to take all these seriously and put it into practice, it will benefit not only us and our families, but the society at large. Before long, we'll be creating jobs for our younger generations. Thank you very much. Please, we are opening the forum for questions from. Before I continue, may I know the number of students we have on the platform currently? I think we are a total of about 11 or 12.
Yep.
This is being organized.
People keep coming in and going out.
And going out, yes. I think it's because of the connection. Connection has been terrible today. It's not been so supportive today. However, I see a few students still around. Students, we are opening the floor for questions for Dr. Agbeku before we get to our next speaker. However, if you don't have an immediate question, a question for us immediately, you may want to write them down so that after the next speaker presentation, we will compile both, and then we can ask questions, then the respective presenters or speakers would address them. So I am giving 15 seconds. If I don't see any hands up, and if I don't hear anyone coming in, would then go to the next speaker. All right, so we'll proceed to the next presentation. We just had a wonderful delivery from Dr. Agbaku on entrepreneurship development. And today, entrepreneurship is nothing if you don't inculcate certain tools such as social media. We need to make ourselves visible. And in that line, we have Mr. Mauli Agbenoto to take us through the use of social media in projecting ourselves and our products and businesses. Let's welcome Mr. Mauli Agbenoto.
Good morning, everyone. So I think we have
Bridget
online. So
okay. I am not seeing her.
Okay.
I am not seeing her. Okay, so if she's online, then we would ask Mr. Sedem Amedome, our guidance and counseling officer, to introduce our next speaker for us. Mr. Sedem Amedome, please help us know our next speaker.
Okay, thank you very much. Our next speaker is by name Bridget Akosia Jogbenu. And Madam Bridget is a digital person in my estimation, in the sense that she describes herself as a solution seller, and she does digital marketing. She's also a customer advocate, and she is a trainer, has been involved in training people in digital matters. Today, we have invited her to help us deal with how to make ourselves visible, so that when we are looking at the world of work, there's the need for visibility. And then she will also be talking about the visibility mechanisms. And so we welcome Madam Bridget Akosia Jogbenu to give us our next presentation. However, if we have questions still, if those who do not want to speak, you can write your questions in our chat room.
They can hear you.
Chat room, and we'll pick it up, and Dr. Agbaku will answer them. He has some time with us before he joins another meeting.
Okay. Hello. Bridget is online on my phone because her network is messing up. So she will speak so that once you can hear her, she will continue. Bridget, over to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
Morning.
I can be heard.
We can hear you.
Okay, I'm so sorry. My network is, I was actually listening to Doc, very interesting submission there. But then my network just went off. It's not coming up. I don't know why. So Molly, thank you so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm very grateful. So like it said, my name is Bridget. I just like to be called Bridget. I work with Vodafone, so that's basically it. I do some few things. I'm very passionate about customer service and customer experience. And so I've done this for the past 21 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I do a little bit training alongside in customer service, and then I do a lot of solution selling. And so basically that's what I do. This morning, I'll just take some minutes of your time, and then we'll talk about social skills at the workplace. We all know that when we are in school, we learn a lot of book stuff. So I don't know whether we still do industrial attachments, but then you realize that when I was student, when I finished, so I am a past product of Full Technical University. And so when we were in school, we do attachments. So first year, your second year, you do an attachment to have an industry perspective of what you are learning in school. And so we had the opportunity of doing industrial attachments at few places. And you realize that what you learn in the book is quite different when you come on the ground. There are lots of things that we learn in the books that when we come out, we don't really apply them. And so this morning, we are just taking a look at social skills at the workplace. And then when we talk about social skills, which is essential for our workplace success, people would also say it's called interpersonal skills. It is what we all use as individuals to interact and communicate with other people at our workplaces. And these social skills, we have it's inclusive of both verbal skills, that's the way you speak to other people, and then non-verbal skills, your body language, your gestures, your eye contact, and all that. And so I'll be very, very practical about these few things that we need as students when you get out into the world to work. And I'm very happy when Dr. talked about sometimes you would have to do voluntary work to be able to get yourself somewhere. And it's very, very important. So that's why I said I'm very practical. And so sometimes, most of the time, when we finish school, we are looking for money. And so you look at the amount that will be paid and all that. And then sometimes you are offered a certain amount and then you don't like, so you don't take it. Or even when you take it grudgingly. But the first thing I want to talk about is voluntary work. It's very, very important that as students, when we get out, we should try and do some charitable work. I don't know which level or which year you are in now, but then for those continuing students, it will be very, very important that you touch on social work or voluntary work. Let me put it that way. When you do a lot of voluntary work, you realize that it opens you up to a lot of things. You tend to learn a lot more. People would look at the way you carry yourself and other stuff. Life is not all about money, but let's try as students to do some charitable and voluntary work. And believe you, we trust you. Voluntary work has taken a lot of people to certain jobs that they wouldn't ordinarily have gotten. I got a job that I've been doing for the past 20 years because on my attachment, I did a lot of voluntary work. And then by going through and moving from places to places and all that, people recognized me. So when the time came for them to employ people permanently, it wasn't difficult. So let's take a look at voluntary work. Let's take it very seriously. You can take 1 month to go do voluntary work. I'm giving 2 weeks, 1 week. But let it be very impactful. The other thing I want to also talk about so I take the interpersonal skills, which include verbal skills and non-verbal skills. And we all know what verbal skills are. The way you speak to people, and then non-verbal, your body language, your gestures, your eye contact, having a listening skill. So listening attentively to people where you find yourself to be your clients, it could be internal customers. Internal customers means that people that you work with. So maybe you are in the IT unit, but then you support other people. So you support the sales team, support the customer service team, you support the business in general. So those people are your internal customers. You need to listen to them and you need to respect them. You need to respect people's opinions and not force it over them. So let me give you an example where, and it is very, forgive me the technical person, but it's very, it happens to the technical people where they know, I mean, they are in charge of their sales. And so if something happens and you call probably on an IT person or somebody who is technical, engineering or something, the person bulldozes you like you don't know anything and all that. But if you find yourself in that field and you are at the workplace, you need to listen to your people, your internal people. You need to work with them and you need to engage them. And then as you are doing that, you see that people will be, when it comes to staff, people will bring them to you. You would have other colleagues there, but you will see that everybody will turn around and say that, hey, this guy, when I go to him, I get my issues resolved. He takes his time to explain the things to me. He would go at all lengths to do stuff for me. So an example, I have a gentleman in my office. Everybody in the whole business will call on him when they have issues with either their laptops or their everything. Everybody is calling this guy. And I asked him that, you don't just sleep. And at the end of the day, he got an award. I mean, he's all over the place doing things for people. And his colleagues will be, you know, you go to them and they are giving you attitude. But Joe is so humble. He's a people person. And those are the kind of skills you don't learn from the book. And he came in as an intern. And then he was doing all the jobs, somebody was saying, quote, all the donkey jobs and all that. He was doing it, but people were realizing, were recognizing him. And so when he came for putting him as a permanent staff, he didn't struggle for it. He just passed it. And he's all over the place, very, very helpful. He goes the extra mile. And those are the skills that we are talking about. Listening to people, being empathetic with your colleagues, and being empathetic with your customers. And if you happen to find yourself in a managerial role, being able to motivate your employees and the people that you work with is very, very important. As a manager, you are kind of like a servant. Let me put it that way. So we have something we call servant leadership. And so where you see yourself as a servant to the people that you are taking care of. Let me put it that way. And so you don't lord it over them. Like I said earlier, you give them a listening ear. You are empathetic. You are there for them. You go beyond the work to find out. People would come to work in a very moody state, and then you can't be bothered because I am here to work. But at the end of the day, the person's productivity goes into yours. And then it goes into the overall achievement of the organization objectives. So if the person is not feeling good, maybe psychologically, emotionally, and all that, you need to be there for the person. You need to listen, not to say that you would listen and go and tell other people that, hey, this is what my friend is going to know. You have to be as secretive as possible. And then you realize that when you do that, you get people to work with you to be able to achieve your success and the overall objectives of the organization. You also have to empathize with people, interact well with others, with the colleagues and your external people that you serve. If you happen to work in the service area, where empathy means that apart from you being the manager, you, the individual that is going into the workplace, are you going there just because, okay, I came here to look for a job, this is what I've been assigned to I am done with it. I can't be bothered about what happens around and all that. No. But you have to be there for each other as a colleague, because it's not everything that you know. And your other people would also not know everything that you also know. And so you would have to interact with each other to be able to know what somebody is thinking and what somebody is feeling. And that will help you to achieve the common goal of the business or the common goal of the team. You also have to be cooperative. Very, very cooperative. Very, very important. If you have somebody who is not cooperative in your team, it always will bring the team down. And so you realize that other teams are performing, and then your team is not. It's not because of you, but because of somebody. So you don't go around saying that it is because of Ahmed's fault. That is why the team is not performing. And so they have to. Yes, there are instances where, and if you're a line manager, you would have to probably do a one-on-one with a person and find out why the person has issues with his or her performance. But as an individual in the business, working in a team, there has to be cooperation and partnership. So if you are in a company or you find yourself in the corporate world where your team member is not performing, it has to come as a worry for you or to you. And then you would have to find a way as much as possible to partner with the person, to help the person. Sometimes you even need to go the extra mile to probably, maybe the person doesn't understand the job, certain aspect of the job that he or she has been given. So you need to go in and help. And it happens a lot where you need support. Some people excel. There are people who are naturally excellent, like when it comes to performance and other things, they are good. And so if you find yourself where you are not good, go to that person and learn. Don't feel big and say that, no, he's always there, he's always excelling and blah, blah, blah. No. You would have to go and ask the person. And then for the verbal, the written interpersonal communication, which comes to other, just a moment. The non-verbal communication, when it comes to gestures, smiles, and all that, you have to notice that the first appearance always counts. And so the appearances are very, very important when it comes to the corporate world. For instance, when you're going for an interview, the way you would have to present yourself, first appearance is very, very important. And then when you are in a company, every company has their, let me say, dress code or whatever it says. If you come to my company, you can wear anything and go dress smart casual is acceptable. But a lot of companies have their what you call it, their rules and regulations when it comes to how they should look. So if you get to the banking sector, you have to, for the guys, you have to do suits, for the ladies, suits, even the suits, we have colors and all that. It's very important. Your gestures, your smile. Some people don't smile. You would have to try and smile, because otherwise, then it might not be you. But then people would start saying that, oh, this guy is not welcoming. So they try to avoid you. Even when you go for meetings, they are straight and they ask you questions. It's okay, what everybody says, I agree. No, it is not like that in the corporate world. You need to speak up your mind. You don't have to, even if until you speak, you wouldn't know whether what you are saying or contributing is wrong or not wrong. And so you would have to be assertive. Let me put it out. You would have to be assertive and not aggressive. And so being assertive means that, like, you speak out to your mind and you don't fear any intimidation and all that. At the same time, you don't come out as an aggressive person where when somebody is talking, you shut the person down and then you say, oh, no, it is wrong. And no, we don't do that at the corporate world. And so you would have to be assertive and not aggressive when you find yourself in the corporate world, when you find yourself in meetings, both internal with your stakeholders, with your customers, and all that. you show interest in others, like I've said before. People are not putting up a certain expectation from you. If people are putting up a certain attitude and all that, show interest in them. Find out what is wrong with them, and be there to support your friends, because your workplace is your next home. You sleep, how many hours do you sleep now? We work from 8 to 5, and there are people who do 8 to, they do a stretch work. So if you find yourself in a place where you travel all the time and all that, you're almost always not in the heart at home, and the workplace becomes your second home. And I'm sure those who are Christians, Muslims, and all that, then the other place is the church and other things. So where your second home is, you have to try as much as possible to make the place comfortable. So show interest in other people's matters, not be nosy, but see that your colleague is needy and all that. Show interest in it. And then for the corporate place, make sure that you take constructive feedback. Feedback is very, very important. People will give you positive feedback. People will give you negative feedback. Whatever it is feedback. When somebody gives you feedback that this is how you are, this is what you are, and things, immediately don't attack the person that, so it is not true, I'm not like that. No. Most of the times we are quick to do that. But just thank the person and go back and think about what the person has said. Okay, so is it true? Is it not true? Am I this? Am I that? I remember when my children told me, I asked them to give me a feedback about myself, and then they started telling me things. And then all of a sudden I started saying, no, I'm not like that. I'm not. And they're like, aha, I'm not said it. When I sat back, I realized that, okay, what these guys are saying is true. And the same with my colleagues. They give me some, and it helps you. It puts you on your toes. So when you find yourself in the corporate world, and there are people a lot of people are giving you feedback, or even they are not, go ask them that, look, assess me, give me feedback about myself, the good, the bad, the ugly, what I have to improve upon myself and all that. And take that criticism or whatever it is in good faith. Sit back. My director would say that the ones that I have to work on, I'll work on. The ones that I feel you are lying, I won't mind you about it. And that's it. And that is how it is with the corporate world. Those are the things you will not find in the books. And when you get to a workplace to work, be very mindful of people who tag people to say that, oh, this person is bad. He has been in the business for so many years. This person is bad. This person is bad. Be very mindful of that, of people who try to malign others to you. I'll give you an example. I had to move from my unit to another unit. And so when I joined, there was this gentleman who everybody, people have been mentioning his name. And then they say that he's this, he's rude, he's this, he's that, and that. And when I joined the team, I had to do a presentation, my first day in the team, and I had to do a presentation to a lot of people. And it is not my style. I'm a very shy person. And so I was just thinking. And then I approached this gentleman and I said, can you please help me put my slides together and do this presentation? And I've put together some things. Can you take a look at it for me? Then he sat me down and I was amazed. The guy is just a smart chap. He put together the document. He said, you have to take this one out. You have to do this. And you have to do it like that. He said it like this. And it was the brilliant presentation. And so when I finished, I was like, so everybody is saying something about this guy. And I mean, I saw him as a different person. And in fact, he became the head of our unit. He became my friend. A lot of successes that I chose in that unit, which I am so shocking. It's as a result of that gentleman. Some few travels I did was as a result of that gentleman's communication. So assuming I had listened to what people were saying and I had also tagged him in that I mean, touch him that hey, this guy is like this, I would have lost a lot of things. And he taught me a lot of things as far as my unit was concerned. I mean, he goes the extra mile to help you and all that. So when we find ourselves in corporate institutions, we should just close our mind to people who say that this person is bad, this person is this. Go and have an interaction with the person and have your own perspective about the person. Form your own opinion about the person. Don't let anybody influence you with their opinion about people. And the last thing I want to talk about is be ready to serve. Be ready to serve. We have a lot of people in institutions. I remember when I got a job at first, they had then introduced, that was in the late 90s, right? 98, 99. So they had just introduced computers and all that. And you had elderly people at some workplaces that when you go, they think that, okay, they brought in a graduate, they're coming to take your job. So they have a whole lot of attitude towards it. And trust you, look, it is still there up till now. Corporate politics is still there. But then all you have to do is that, so when you go, people would really want to frustrate you. Let me use that, frustrate you. So they will send you, go and buy this, go and buy that, do this, go and do this for me, go and file. So I don't have heaps of files for me. I'll have to go and file and all that. But in all this, I was learning a lot of things. So people thought that, okay, they were punishing some people, but it was a learning process for some of us. And so when you find yourself in such hostile environment, don't quit. Don't quit. Because when you quit, you miss out on a lot of things. And so be ready to serve. Serve them. Pick up the files and do. And when they give you your job, your job description, and you're done, go to other places and learn. That, oh, I want to, can you teach me this, can you teach me that, and all that. Go around with them. Learn from other people and other units. And you realize that you become jack of all trades. Let me put it that way. And so you get to learn a little bit of everything. So when you get to a point, it comes at a very good advantage for you because you'll be able to do a lot of things without relying on other people in the institution. So be ready to serve. Serve. Be ready to serve. It's very, very important that you serve. Yes, you went there for a purpose. You went there and your JD was given to you and all that. But
Bridget, please speak up a little bit for us. I've been told that the audio is dropping, so you speak up a little bit for us.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, so did you hear the last point I said? I made?
Be ready to serve.
Exactly. And so I said that we should be ready to serve. We shouldn't allow people to frustrate us out of the institution we find ourselves in. It would happen, but be ready to serve. We should learn from other units and other responsibilities. We should be humble and learn from people. So that is what I would want to end with. If there are any questions, I would take them. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm here. The
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. The moderators will take over with the questions. So
Okay,
they are hearing
okay,
you.
thank you very much.
Sylvia. All right. We are grateful to.
Hello, can you? Okay.
Sylvia, go ahead.
Hello. My line is breaking. I don't know whether you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello. Okay. Please, is it better now?
Yes,
Yes.
you can go ahead.
Wow. Sorry.
No, we can.
Bad network.
Okay, Sylvia, I'm taking over. Well, that was another insightful presentation from Bridget, and we are grateful for her time and her presence on this program. If you have any questions for her, and also Dr. Adeko is still with us. If you have any questions for these two presenters, please just raise your hand or just go ahead, unmute your mic, and then speak. We have the next few minutes to do that before we introduce the next speaker. Is there any question for Bridget or for Dr. Adeko? All right, we will still have to continue with the program with our final presenter for the morning in person of Mr. Mauli D. Agbenoto. Yes, Mauli. So, Madam Bridget, thank you very much for your time. If you have time, you can continue to stay with us, and hopefully by the end of the program we will have more interactions.
Okay, thank you very much, Councillor Moderator. I think we are very honored to have a very important friend of HTU and a very wonderful person that we're chasing to have in this session with us. And it's in the person of, please, you can see his name. I'm quite excited, and if you can hear a word from him, it will be fantastic. I've been chasing him for this program. We're not able to get him for this one, but I think in the future, we'll certainly have to feature him. Dr. Prince Kofi Kuro-Jason is in the house. He was one of the persons we're chasing after so much. Doc, yes, I can see. Okay, please, if you can give us a few words, we'll be grateful before I continue with my session.
Recording in progress.
Okay, I think the network of Dr. I think the network of Dr.
Oh, you can go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Mauli Agbenoto, as you all know it. I have a lot of experience in consultancy. I've been speaking in various fora for a very long time now, and I consult on issues of productivity, most of the time on anti-money laundering, security, due diligence, enhanced due diligence, and co. As well, I am the acting director of ICT Technical University. A lot of other ones we cannot mention here. I'm also into NGO, so the vice president of Center for Education, Research and Training. Today, I'm here to present on social media in general and how you can make yourself visible with social media. I'm going to deal with two things. The first one is what you can do with social media if you want to do your private business, and what you can do with social media if you want employment. I'll be much interested in employment. However, there are general issues that needs to be discussed that is common, whether you're looking for a job or you're hoping to establish a business. So I would want to discuss some of these issues. Social media is a new normal, as we all know it. It's now kind of near impossible for you to live without being on any social media platform. Whilst it's having its pros and cons, what we can do is to maximize its benefits or positive sides. Okay, Although it also comes with a lot of information overload, we can actually find a way of making our voice be heard among the cacophony of voice or among the lot of noise that is going on the social media. And that is the easiest way, because today we're able to interact with people that we've never seen, that we may never have had opportunity of interacting with, doing businesses with people that we may never had opportunity. I'm having Dr. Prince Kofi Kujesin over here. Without social media and these tools, I'm not sure most of us will have the opportunity of knowing him and even interacting with him. Okay, the first thing is, what do you want to do with social media? What you want to do will determine where you place. First, you will need to look for the people who are interested in what you want to do. If it's a job that you are looking for, you need to look for where people who are interested in your skill set are. If you are into IT, then you need to look at people who are interested in your skill set to employ you, where you can get them. For example, you can go into LinkedIn, you can go to GitHub and many other places. GitHub expects you to be able to produce a product and place it online for others to see, to access. And if somebody needs such skills, the person can come in. LinkedIn provides you with a form of a CV that it's built in a way and also allow people to make input into it. All these things can enable you become more visible. People can contact you for jobs, people can contact you for your product and many other things. So you need to know the people that you are dealing with, where they are located. Okay, so assuming we are interested in something like fashion and its accessories. One will say that the ideal environment or social media to use for fashion should be either Pinterest, Instagram, or any of them. There are tons of them. Where if that's what you're interested in, you want to showcase the styles that you have, you want to showcase your skill, you want to showcase your new inventions and co, then you may have to consider something like Instagram or Pinterest, where people you can actually display your work, and either you are selling or you are hoping to be employed by somebody who needs such a skill. Okay, so basically where the people who are, where you can find them. Okay, now after you determine where you can find the people, another key issue is all the people who are interested in your skill set. Another interesting thing that you need to consider is, which brand are you building for yourself? Where do you want to position yourself? Are you positioning yourself as a leader, as a follower, as an intern? Where do you want to position yourself? You will have to do the narrative. How to position yourself will be a topic for another discussion, or you can easily read on it online to be able to get where you want to position yourself. Dr. Agbeko and the earlier speaker all spoke about where you want to position yourself. If you want to do more voluntary job, if you want to position yourself as somebody who is outgoing, who is welcoming, who is respectful, it's where you want to position yourself. You need to create a brand. The brand would define you. The brand that can let people, like it becomes a magnet that will attract people who are interested in your skills or who are interested in your product, in case of the other way of you having a private business. Okay, to share a nice story with you, the last 2 interviews that I have to be a panel, I received over 50 entries, all of them online. And we're only going to get 2 people. The easiest way to do that is for me to go to social media, run some few queries here and there. Okay, I actually narrowed it to the last 5 years of the people's activity on social media. It may interest you to know that people were having the skill set in terms of all the certificates. And as an IT job, in IT, we do a lot of certification. We're having all the certificates, we're having projects that they've done, which were their reference point and co. But one thing that was standing very, very key is the integrity of the people, their makeup. And that was very simple. We have to use their digital footprint to determine. So we drop people. The insults online, the careless postings, the all sort of things that are not dignifying or are not decent enough constitute their digital footprint. And these footprints help us in determining who we're dealing with. Because under the interview condition, we are not able to determine the other soft skills that are available to these people. We are just not able to do it, but we are able to get the soft skills and who they are really made up of by using their digital footprints online. So if you want to build a brand, then you must start looking at your digital footprints. If you want to build a brand now, then you must work towards your digital footprints. If it's possible to delete some of them, please go ahead. If you want to talk about politics, you can talk about politics and still be decent. You can make a position known and be decent. But if it goes the other way around, then we have a problem. That is about employment. Let's look at somebody trying to do business. People want to do ethical business. They want to identify themselves with your product, your philosophy, and what you stand for. And your social media presence is communicating something else. People want to do business with people with certain level of integrity, who belong to their idea group, who belong to their philosophy, who belongs to their social class. But you end up putting things on social media, sometimes willingly, sometimes unwillingly, or sharing some of them, that actually would deter a lot of people from even getting close to you or even patronizing your product. With some people, it's a no-no. They'll just take you off. So you have to look at how you conduct yourself on social media. Okay, so talking about that, the question is, which industry do you belong to? Where do you find the people who belong to your industry? Are they buying or they are hiring? If they are buying, then maybe you have a special skill, you have a special idea that was discussed already by Dr. Agbeko, and you're able to develop it and you sell it out. Then you can access funding, you can get partners, you can get whatsoever, you can get customers, you can get distributors, all from that. But so without knowing where the people that deal with you or who belong to your industry can be found on social media or which platform they can be found, we will certainly have a problem. The next question I want to tackle is, where do we start from? Do we have what it takes to start? The answer is certainly yes. Because by the power of being here, it means you're all having either a smartphone, an internet connected device. This is the beginning. Your internet connected device may have a camera. Now your camera that you have today, most of them are more powerful than the camera that GTV used to produce in the 90s. And if that is the case, then you have a super camera. You can take good pictures of yourself. You can actually do good presentations, do good write-ups about yourself and post it online in the appropriate media, and also make sure that the timing and then the synchronization is okay. You tag the right people, you follow the right people, and then you are in business. If you are really into IT as I am, I'm very sure I will not miss a step or to follow somebody like Elon Musk, Tesla. I will not miss a step to follow Dr. Prince Kofi Krugesin with all the high-tech Celtel equipment that he's actually bringing on board. If you actually need anything technology and internet, of course, Celtel is there to provide you that. And it's one of the biggest names in the industry. So you don't have to waste your effort. The only thing that you need to do is to follow him. Once you follow him, some other people also follow him. And then you are getting closer to the people that needs to know you. Dr. Agbako made mention of the fact that it is not about whom you know anymore, but it is about who knows you. And if it's about who knows you, then you got to get to the people whom you want to be known to. And social media provides that. Thank you. Our moderators, are you there?
Yes, Molly. Yeah, so we have had just another presentation exposing us to the social media and how we can use the social media to our advantage, and also how we can be mindful of our digital footprints. Whatever we put out there has implications for the future. Now, all the three presenters for today's program are done. They are all online. And I believe that what I'm not happy about is just that the questions are not forthcoming. I believe these are insightful presentations, clear in themselves. Yet, if there are questions that will aid us be able to explore and also know which areas we should tackle in our next workshop. So if there are questions, I encourage the participants for this morning's program to ask all the questions that are needed, ask all the questions that you have, so that we can wind up for today. Also, I would like Evans, please monitor our other social media handles and see whether there are any questions anywhere for our speakers. The floor is open. You can just unmute your mic and ask any question if you have one.
Hi, Marley.
Yes,
This is
yes, Bridget, please
go
ahead.
I just want to ask a question. I want to ask a question on behalf of the students. And so you have people having two social media accounts, one for, please, can you hear me?
Yes, very well, yes. I can hear you.
Okay, so Molly, I wanted to, I'm asking a question that people have done for like their fan stuff and all that, so they post all sorts of things there, and then another for business. Is it right to do that?
It's actually interesting. At the end of the day, you are talking about two personalities. If it's two personalities that we are talking about in one, the question is, why are we having two personalities? Now, is it the case that you are using one for dubious activities and then one for a clean activity? Now, if we try to actually pull data or conduct analysis, the two will pop up. So if your activity at one side is at variance with the other one, then we have issues. 99% of the time, we may not ask you of your social media handle. It is your name and the vital information that you provided on whatsoever document you are giving us that we use in actually bringing out these informations. If you want to have a secondary account, which you want to keep a bit private and use it for just private things, is okay. But how private is social media nowadays? Even pictures that people take on their phones find their way into public domain. So I would believe that you maintain a single presence and then manage it appropriately. Because if you have double presence on the same platform, most of the time it looks as though you're having something to hide. You're having multiple personality.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yes, also the other thing is that if you have to keep two social media accounts, keep them as two very distinct accounts that do not have any link, that when we are looking for one, the other one does not pop up. If the other one pops up, and like Molly said, is at variance with the one your official one, then it will create problems even about your integrity even further. All right, there's another question here in our chat room. My name is Kujoji Millicent Akpene, fashion student level 300. I want to start branding myself. Where do I start from? How? What do I need to start as a beginner? Any advice for me as an upcoming entrepreneur? Thank you. This will go to, I think, Mauli, and then if Dr. Agbeko is still on the line, the two of you, please speak to the issue.
Okay, I'll do that, and Bridget will support me. Okay, you are into fashion. Fashion is actually an apparel business. Two things over here. Ask whether you want, okay, I can see you want to be an entrepreneur. So fashion, the right platforms that you should be looking at to build your brand should be Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and of late, the popular news blog, which is Twitter, is also becoming very popular for fashion and other things, especially when you are dealing with the Ghanaian society or ecology. With the branding, it's up to you. I do not know which part of fashion you are into, whether you're into bridal, whether you're into millinery or whatsoever you are, but you can brand yourself in two ways. Somebody who delivers quality at a premium rate, or somebody who delivers affordability. You can blend the two if you can actually optimize your price. In terms of your work, the challenges that we have in actually dealing with fashion accessories online is fit. That is how best the thing will fit you. When you're going to the shop to buy, most of the time, Bridget can tell, you will have to try it and go to the fitting room and try it. Online, it's difficult to actually get the fit. And I can tell you, Ghanaians are very curvy. Sometimes the tummy is a bit bigger than like the men. So if you're going to deal with standard sizes, it's a bit difficult, and nobody wants to go home and be alterating. So if you can work on your fit, for example, and be known that whatever you buy online, you can actually get a fit, it's one of the areas you can actually build a brand. And if you can also build your brand on reliability, is another area. It's difficult to get people nowadays to move from office to office and target high clients and then go measure them in their office. So bring it, try they let them fit, and then you send it back and do your corrections. It's possible you could do that. You could even let people take videos of themselves, do the measurements and co. So if you want to actually master yourself in the do-it-yourself side of things, where people send you their style and co, or you work together with them in developing a style by using computer softwares and co, it's also another nice area that you can be. And as to how to start, Millicent, you already have a smartphone. That is one of the best ways to start. So you can take the pictures of what you are developing, what you have developed, your friends way, just as you do on your status and co, because WhatsApp is also one key, but WhatsApp works within your community, your friend zones. So once you're able to get that, produce products or what the things that you have produced for people. And make sure if you produce things for people, know how you post it. You need to ask permission before you post it, because many people will not want to be seen at certain places, and you go and post them, you may have issues. And how you present it online is also another issue that you can look at. So you can learn few tricks of presenting the thing. Maybe you can have an online shop, or you can have a mannequin or whatsoever. An online shop is when you have a small shop and you can hang the things and take pictures of them as they are hanged, or a mannequin where you can just hang the thing on and take the camera around. I could remember one presentation that I did. There was a canvas shop which was not selling, so they decided to actually form the canvas into a human skull. and people were passing. Now they were through, and they have to peep in and see what exactly they were seeing, only to know that it's a canvas. Now the canvas, which was almost out of let me say fashion at that time, is becoming a fad. All of a sudden, there's a difference between fad and fashion. While fad is an old fashion, fashion is a new fad. Okay, so at the end of the day, canvas, which is becoming a fad, an old something, it has become now the thing of the day because of that design, and they were able to make a lot of income. So you can also check on YouTube on how to present your accessories. I've already mentioned where the people who will utilize your product, where they are. So you can also do some research around there. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Also, Millicent, and to all others, one of the functions of the guidance and counseling unit is for you to walk in and find out some of these things. At the center there, we can connect you to people who would be able to have one-on-one with you, guide you through this thing, because these few minutes of conversation may not, it's just a start, may not end everything. So I encourage you to pass by the guidance and counseling unit. We will connect you to whosoever matters so that you learn how to begin and run your thing if you are not very satisfied with all that Mali has said. So we can meet in person, and then we can connect you to the people who matter in person. They'll walk you through the steps and the things you need to do. You ask all your questions, and that will be helpful to you and to all others also. That's the essence of the Guidance and Counseling Center. The Guidance and Counseling Center is not for mad people, even though if mad, it's also a place mad people can come to, but normal people who are as confused as we are the ones that come there and ask just any question. No matter how trivial the question sounds, it's a question. It's the beginning of a conversation, and that conversation can go a long way in changing your perspective. So thank you for the questions. I can't see any more questions on our in our chat room.
Hello, I just want to add to what Mauli just said, if that's okay, to Millicent. Okay, is it Millicent?
Yes, Millicent, yes. Yes, please, go ahead.
The little I want to, Mauli has actually said a lot, but what I want to add is her being innovative. You know, the fashion industry, a lot of things are changing. And so she has to be very innovative. So you go online, like Mauli said, we have a lot of online apps and other stuff like a Pinterest we talked about, and other places that you can even follow a lot of people. You have Jibodi and all of them online. You can follow, and then they put a lot of innovative and creative things online for you to go and watch and pick some few things from. So you don't have to be a straight jacket person. You have to be very innovative, open-minded about what is happening in the fashion industry and read around. You can. I have few friends who have taken on fashion course. Like they have corporate people, but they also do fashion stuff. And so you can, not even when you're out of school, you can just take like maybe a month course or whatever it is, just to update yourself or upgrade yourself on things that you want to improve upon as far as your sector is concerned. And then you can do that. Like Doc said earlier, you don't need a lot of money to start doing that. And then look around, go online. Sometimes there are these mini fairs that they do. People do mini fairs. I don't know exactly where you are, but people do mini fairs and they don't charge that much. Sometimes like 200 cedis. Sometimes they even do it for free. They would want people to just come and display what they have. So you take advantage of all those things, and then make sure that you do what we call psychological pricing, where you look around to see, okay, everybody is selling this dress for 50 cedis. Can I do it like 48 cedis and get my customers? Can I add a touch of little bit to it to make mine stand out? So those are the very things that you would do. And I'm sure when you do that, it would go a long way to help you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bridget. Thank you very much. Well, maybe the honor we have today of having Dr. Prince Klugesin with us, it will be nice to hear from him if he has anything to say. You are not obliged to say anything, but if there's anything you want to share with the student community, you are welcome, please.
Thank you. I don't even know how I got here, but I think I got a link from Mauli, so I just press it and I'm here. But it's very good that the university has gotten to this level of social media, and then also connectivity. Today's post-COVID, these days a lot of the issues you are talking about now are the most relevant in the world today. If you look at the massive Amazon and all the e-commerce that are going on right now, you can be right there in a whole university in fashion business and become a multi-millionaire without going anywhere, just with smartphone, as Mauli said. So creativity, today is the order of the day. All you need, as Mauli said, is an internet, and then the whole world is for you. Because these days, if you look at what's happening in South Africa, Omnicom, people are being prevented from traveling, going anywhere. But in your own area, in your own hood, like Utaka University, the way you are profiling yourself is a key. So the mere fact that you could even say that you are a student of Utaka University is a very major plus for you. So I believe that now that I know you are on this, I will link up back with the school to see what we can do to bring companies like Facebook and others, to partner with the university so that we can move up to the next scale.
Good. Thank you very much. We are grateful to have you and all others who have joined today's program. Sylvia, please, are you there? All right. This brings us to the end of today's workshop. It is the beginning of a series of workshops, all aimed at exposing our final year students in particular and all our students to what happens there in the world beyond the university. We have expectations. We want to check with what happens in the world of work to see whether the expectations we have are okay. We also want to see what preparations we need to do before we leave the walls of the university. And this is important. And we would encourage those of you who have participated in today's workshop to encourage others to join the next time it is advertised. We are hoping by January, February, we will put up the next in the series. So we will continue to encourage you to support whatever we are doing in our own small way to get our students prepared for the world of work. We have had insightful presentations from Dr. Agbeko, Madam Bridget Jogbonu, and then, of course, our own Mauli Agbenoto, and of course, the contributions from Dr. Klugesin and the rest. We thank you all for joining. We are looking forward to seeing you again in our next workshop. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too.